welcome. We're joined now by Fox NFL analyst Tony Gonzalez and Mark Sloreth. Let's start in Dallas, where the Rams shocked the league yesterday, but not Colin Cowherd, beating the Cowboys in a shootout at Jerry World. Jared Goff once again looked sharp, and Todd Gurley exploded in the second half, while Dak, Zeke, and the rest of the Cowboys offense couldn't get anything going after halftime. Here's Dak after the game.
What took place in the second half? Did they do some things differently, or was it just you guys not converting on third down early?
Yeah, I don't think they did anything differently. They stuck to their game plan. Second half was the same thing. I think it was just us not converting. We've got to find better consistency in our offense and running the ball and throwing the ball. Me and my accuracy, just got to be consistent throughout the whole game.
All right, Cowherd, you called this game. Were you more impressed by the Rams or more troubled by the Cowboys?
More impressed with the Rams. Sports fans are very funny. If you had a stockbroker and a stockbroker said, we got new information on this stock, you'd say, okay, sell the stock. I liked it last month, I don't now. Sports fans are funny. If you have an opinion, they have to stay to it forever. The Rams changed left tackle, center, coach, tight end, receivers, deep threat, slot receiver. Well, their offense is new. Why is everybody into this? How can the Rams be? They went out and changed all their offensive personnel. They brought in an entirely new staff. They already had a great D-line, a great kicker, a great punter. They had some things in place. The Rams changed more than any team in the league. The Rams said, we're going to completely overhaul. It's like rebuilding a kitchen. Well, it doesn't look the same as last month. We got a new kitchen. The Rams' offense is a real offense.
Colin, people are very predictable. Their happiness is based on expectations. We went into the season expecting the Dallas Cowboys to be the Cowboys of last year. We expected Dak Prescott, to elevate. I've got to be more troubled by the Cowboys. Dak's not elevating. Zeke and the offensive line and the running game have taken a step back. I'm troubled with the Cowboys. Perhaps the cloud hanging over Zeke's head going into the season they've lost their identity. Go look at their rushing stats from a year ago to now this year. They were first in the league in everything, and now they're very mediocre to below average.
Is it possible they just lost a wild shootout to a playoff team?
They can't run the ball. Well, the way we expect.
Here's the Dallas Cowboys in a nutshell. You have to understand complementary football. That means that our offense has got to possess the ball. We've got to control the time of possession because our defense is limited just from a personnel standpoint.
True.
That's who we are. There's one game so far this year where they've adhered to that formula. That was the first game of the year against the New York Giants. They possessed the ball, and guess what? They had more total yardage than the Giants did. And they kept their defense off the field, kept them fresh. That's the only time that's happened this season, and every team since has beat them in the time of possession and total yardage. They've exposed a defense that, from a personnel standpoint, is weak. That defense is not great. They have a couple of really good. I'm troubled by the Cowboys. I'm excited about the Rams. It's great. What they're doing is great, and it surprises me. But I look at the formula, the way the Cowboys are built right now, and I'm like, I am troubled by this team because you have to adhere to that formula.
Well, you know what? I'm more happy and kind of like it shows you what happens when you have good coaches. Okay, what Sean McVay has done.
Impressed by the Rams.
Impressed by the Rams, of course, because nobody. Last year they were 3-1. This year they're 3-1 again. I think this is an absolutely different team. Would you agree with me saying that this is a totally different 3-1 team?
Different team,
just from top to bottom. And really, I think it all comes down to coaching. When you can bring, they brought in a couple of players. Sammy Watkins is a big deal. Bringing in that left tackle is a big deal, but Jared Goff, that's who holds the keys. That's who drives the bus in the NFL, okay? And the way he's playing right now and the offense that he's conducting out there, it's just – and Wade Wilson, a defensive coordinator, what he's done to that
Wade
defense.
Phillips.
It's been amazing.
Listen, we forgot that Todd Gurley, even with a major leg injury, was a first-round pick. That was a gamble, right? People went, well, he was so good. I think another thing is the initial optics on these young quarterbacks shape us. And our initial optics on Goff were hard knocks, too skinny, didn't know which coast the sun rises in. And our initial optics were, oh boy, Goff it. Take a deep breath. Mitch Trubisky, by the way, it's announced today, is going to start for the Bears. That's a defensive staff. He may not look great, let's not judge 22-year-old quarterbacks based on our initial optics. Jeff Fisher, HBO Hard Knocks, we thought Goff couldn't play.
He rode the bench for most of the year, didn't he? I mean, they went with Case Keenum, I thought, last year.
That's right, but that shows you that Jeff Fisher, defensive guy, doesn't know offensive personnel. He just doesn't know it. Most defensive coaches don't know offensive personnel.
You know what the most important thing you can do as a coach? Put your players in positions to win. That's really what coaching comes down to. Some coaches are so stuck on my system, my formula.
Yes.
And I'm going to fit you in there. Think about the wide receiver they drafted in the first round. What's the kid's name?
Cooper
Austin?
Kupp.
No, the Austin kid, right? For a couple years ago?
Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin. That kid was out of position. He's not an outside threat. He's not an outside receiver. He's been out of position. Now all of a sudden, and I understand he was a first-round pick and you try to force that into, but he's a slot, gadget, jet sweep.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
And he's a weapon. And guess what? That's the way they use him right now. They went out and got other pieces and say, it's all right. We'll put you in a position to win. And he's been a difference maker this season for them. That's smart coaching. There's a lot of dumb coaches in this league, let me tell you. And you've played for a bunch of them, as I have.
I can name a lot of them.
Right.
Should we go into it?
Let's not get
Okay.
personal.